Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Today, we have a ton of stuff to cover, so sit around and enjoy this episode. First of all, New York City will become a Bitcoin center, says city's mayoral lead Eric Adams. Pretty big deal if you were to ask me. I mean, New York right now is one of those places where it's extremely difficult to get your hands on some crypto, specifically the more unknown ones. The regulations there are very, very strict. If you ever look at an exchange list, most of the time New York has some sort of restriction over there. It is awful. And by the way, I am trying to catch a mosquito that keeps flying in front of my screen because it's very light. It's very annoying, by the way. But yeah, Eric Adams, the current frontrunner in the 2021 New York mayoral election in the Democratic primary, appears to be pro-crypto. Could be two-sided. It could, of course, be that he knows if he's pro-crypto, he'll get more votes, or maybe exactly the opposite way around. He's just really pro-crypto and works out. I mean, in the end, it's just a good thing regardless, right? I mean, more pro-Bitcoin, more better. That's all I can say about it. Moving on, Ripple price analysis. XRP recovers 30% in 48 hours. Here are the next targets. Now, to be honest with you, I don't think we should be talking about these targets. Many people were laughing at me over on Twitter because I said I do not sell XRP. I made a longer term plan video a couple of days ago, but let me reiterate that real quickly. I just buy. I think time in the markets is better than time in the markets unless we are talking about my small trading stash. I have a trading stash which is about 20% of the total, and I trade with that almost every single day. Now the difference lies in the fact that my portfolio, my crypto portfolio, is denominated in the amount of coins that I have. My trading stash is denominated in euros or dollars and USDT basically. And I really care only about the USDT status, not about how many coins I can buy or how many coins I have, only about the USDT. One fun fact, I never ever, I've only done it maybe 3 times in my life, maybe 2 times, check my entire portfolio because I really think it doesn't do good for my mindset. Whenever I see that amount of money that's in there and the prices go down, it hurts me. If I just never check the dollar value of my portfolio, only the coin amounts of my portfolio, it does me good. So these price targets, I don't really care about. I have a layering strategy to buy, so yeah. Michael Burry of The Big Short has warning for trapped Bitcoin bulls. Pretty funny, a little bit earlier he actually did say that Bitcoin's going to go down, and it did. So, I mean, from a certain perspective, we got to give him some credit. Then again, I've told you before as well, a lot of these guys like Michael Burry, they've been right to call a certain correction once, right? He's the guy from The Big Short, so of course he's become famous because of a short of being bearish, and he's doing it again. The thing is, guys, what I personally feel with these types of people, and I'm categorizing him as a certain type of people, is that as long as you keep being bearish on something which is, bound to crash at one point or another, you'll be right and you'll have a lot of followers. Let me explain. If you are bearish on Bitcoin saying it's a bubble, you can only be disproven once you're dead. Otherwise, I mean, you can always keep that entire thing upright. I mean, if you always say, no, it's a bubble, if it goes on for the next 20 years, theoretically speaking, people who said that the dot-com was a bubble, right now we can kind of say, no, they were all wrong. But from a certain perspective, maybe eventually humanity will no, never mind. Maybe eventually humanity will crash itself, or internet is not a thing anymore. No, okay. I guess after a certain while, maybe 15 years or so, you're going to be proven wrong, because with Bitcoin, you can really say it's a bubble for the next 10 years, and a lot of people might say, yeah, it's true, right? So, yeah, it's a difficult one. Even the S&P, that stuff has been around for years, a very long time. And people still say that the S&P is not going to, keep growing because the U.S. is not going to be the number one economy anymore. There's so many fun things, but if you're bearish on something, on a lot of things, eventually you might be right. And since you're the lesser party, so for example, Peter Schiff, one guy that's pretty bearish on Bitcoin, since he's one of the top guys to do it, you get a lot of following. And, well, even if you're not right ever, at least people will have the same mindset for you so you can get your way up there. And since there's inherently less people that are so outspokenly bearish, that talk about it every single day, that are bearish, well, you have a higher chance to get yourself up there in terms of attention and money. Now, Bitcoin market inevitably bearish again as whales dump Bitcoin en masse. Fake, not really the truth. You might say it from the perspective that there's a lot of whales right now selling, so the market is bearish. It's different. There's a lot of whales selling that now made a ton of profit by buying this dip. There's not a lot of whales selling, so now the market is bearish necessarily. I mean, it could be, but I don't know if that's necessarily the thing to say, because if you look at it right here, it's not a one-to-one thing. I mean, here the whales were selling again within this period, but the price went upward for the next couple of months, so it's not necessarily a one-to-one. Then again, you might say, okay, no, not even that. Here, throughout 2019, the whales started selling, and the price went negative for the next half a year or so, a little bit more than half a year. Yeah, it's debatable. It's debatable. If this is actually the way that it usually goes, if we can actually hold this one to the core, it doesn't actually look that good. But I don't know. I don't think this whale capitulation index actually works out too much, because we had two kind of fake outs throughout the midst here as well. If you trusted it this time when it became red, you would have lost out on a lot of money, I guess, huh? Same thing for right here. Because, I mean, it wasn't, I guess this one you might have, you could have maybe trusted, but not at least the start of it. So, I don't really believe in it too much, but, at least we updated you on it. Then, why Bitcoin is flailing as GameStop soars. I'm not really sure if there's really a thing to be said right there. Some people have said to me that people buy GameStop with their Bitcoin and the vice versa. And some other people have said GameStop and stuff, they just prosper all the time with no real bearing to the real world. And that can correlate with the stock market in a certain way, which can correlate with Bitcoin. But the way that I found it now, people are saying this. The flash mob that drove up the price of GameStops at the Wall Street Journal is commonplace in crypto. Bitcoin could be the new GameStop, wrote a CNBC columnist in February. Indeed, the same could be said of GameStop, considering that Bitcoin's cult-like following started growing in 2010, over a decade before GameStop attained its unlikely meme status. There's no real correlation in terms of price with the two. You might say both have sort of a cult-like following, and people buy it for the memes, for fun. I don't think so. I think they're really inherently quite different. I think GameStop can also be compared to some of the meme cryptos, but Bitcoin itself and GameStop, no, they don't really resemble the same thing, the same idea. Ripple subpoenas former SEC official. Watchdog fights move as it holds key to the case. Well, that's actually pretty funny. A little side note. Yesterday, we were really talking about subpoena of Jay Clayton, because that was the speculation was. I want to quickly clear up here. It is, in the end, William Hinman. So there were basically two guys which the entire XRP community was after for the longest time now. Jay Clayton was one of them. William Hinman was the other one. And apparently Ripple now wanted to subpoena William Hinman, because, mind you, Jay Clayton is already being investigated by Ripple together with One River Asset Management. So maybe they didn't need to subpoena like that because they were already into it. Then XRP lawsuit. Was SEC dealt another big blow? A lot of you guys were really sad that I titled my article in a big news type of way. Guys, whenever there's some breaking news on the lawsuit, it just came out, I'll title my videos breaking news. And if Ripple gets a big win or a big grant, I will post it like that, because I think that's important to know. And that's the title, because that's literally the subject. So yes, it was a pretty big deal. And yes, it was a pretty annoying blow towards the SEC. But right now what we're waiting for is Ripple's response, potentially, to the SEC motion to quash the deposition. Ripple already gave all their arguments, yet the SEC kind of disregarded that and still filed. But let's see. Let us see. Then a little fun thing. You might call this stupid, you might call it fun. The XRP, the Standard Productions, put up breaking news. This is huge. SEC now accepts XRP. And you really don't want to know how many people ask me if this is real or not. You don't want to know. You really, really don't. Don't ask me. You don't want to know. Here's a little example. Is this real? Seems like satire. How could this not be real? And I laughed for a good little bit at this picture right here. Gary Gensler, the #1 XRP fan. Right? That's our motto. This is our mascot right there. Look at our man, Gary Gensler. But Banjo here has got it right. Your success is based on everyone reading the tweet, getting excited, and they glanced up to the account. Well played this round, sir. 0.5 seconds of excitement from me. I'm going to give it to him. It's pretty funny. You got to come up with all that stuff. You got to make an entire article. That's what he does about it. I never press the Koi article themselves because I literally do not care for the satire. But I follow it because, first of all, people ask me all the time about, oh, is this real? And second of all, because it is pretty fun what he can come up with. So, gotta give some credit where it's due. Then again, make sure you understand that this is fake. It is all satire. I'm not sure if it's a good thing for the community because a lot of people do believe it, and so you are spreading fake news. Then again, in my opinion, some of these things, most of these things are so extremely obvious where if you believe it, that sounds more like a you problem, right? But yeah. Let's see what else we got. To hold, buy the dip or cash out. Two experts give their say on the current Bitcoin market. Bitcoin has continued to trade lower, and some analysts are even calling 25K as the next level. So is it time to buy the dip, hold, or cash out? Two experts have had their say on the current market, including why Bitcoin seems unable to break out, where the smart money is headed, and what's next for Bitcoin. Well, in an easy fashion, we just saw Bitcoin just now, by the whales, theoretically speaking, being sold. I personally don't believe there's too much to that to really hold dearly, but Michael van der Poppe, an analyst from the Netherlands, hey, welcome, Michael, with over 100K subs on YouTube and 400,000 followers on Twitter, something like that, told Vice, Bitcoin has seen a run from 3.7 to 64K in a relatively short amount of time, through which a corrective move was likely to happen. So is there time to panic? Well, it always depends on where you're measuring from. If you're measuring from the high, then yeah, this is pretty brutal. But anyone who's been in the market for more than a few months should be in profit at this point. The time to sell for an investor or swing trader that's way behind us. It's time to hold, zoom out, or maybe invest some more if you have the ability to do so and focus on data. The point of investing in general boils down to 4 simple words: buy low, sell high. So when you see prices come down like this, to me that's an encouraging sign to increase activities and investment. I always keep referring to The Intelligent Investor, the book by Benjamin Graham, where it says the lower the prices are, the safer inherently, and the higher, the more risk. It's logical if you think about it. The lower the price goes, at least you're in a better position than you were a couple of days ago had you bought back then. And Wrath of Kahneman posted, recent article, blockchain-based healthcare system mentions Ripple as an example of a permissionless system that does not require incentivized nodes. I'm not exactly sure if I covered this before. I had it retweeted, but I'm not sure if I actually did mention it before. So just wanted to quickly share that one as well. And guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And look at what is trending, huh? Hashtag pay me in Bitcoin. Yeah, pretty damn funny too.